Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we are going to be looking at a number of really cool pieces of terrain from a very cool company called Terrainify that has done some amazing work with these pieces. We're going to go through a lot of different ones. We'll also showcase them with miniatures, see how they kind of look with some Star Wars Legion or maybe Age of Sigmar miniatures. You can get a look at that. Also, we're going to give you a discount code, so if you want to check any of these out yourself, we're going to give you a code at the end of the video so you can head over to Terrainify and check them out yourself. If you guys are new here to the channel, I invite you to like the video, subscribe, stick around. I talk a lot about different terrain, playmats, game unboxings, of course, a lot about mini wargaming, like games like Star Wars Legion, Age of Sigmar, Star Wars Armada, X-Wing, Shatterpoint, Marvel Crisis Protocol, all that stuff. We talk about a lot of that on this channel, and Terrainify wrote me and said, hey, you know what, would you like to check out some of our terrain? So big thanks to Terrainify. They did send all of this out, and I'm going to showcase you a number of these awesome pieces. If you're interested, also you can check them out. The link will be in the video description below. Without further ado, let's jump right in and take a closer look at some of this awesome terrain. All right, so first up, we're going to be taking a look at some of these slightly smaller pieces. Now, this is part of the Craggy Hills set. This is a Craggy Outcropping. It's actually Craggy Outcropping E. You can find this over at Terrainify's website, which will be in the video description below. One of the things I want to talk about is these are 3D printed. And they do have these available in a couple of different ways. You can get STL files, you can get them pre-painted, you can get them unpainted if you want to do them yourself. Now, if you're getting them painted, there are a lot of different color schemes. There are a lot of different varieties of ways that you can get these done, which is pretty cool. Now, what I have, after talking with the folks at Terrainify, what I have talked with them about is this Inferno Green color scheme here. And you're going to see this same color scheme on all of the pieces. I thought it was a pretty cool looking scheme. Now, this is definitely a color scheme that could easily apply to a lava. They have other types of color schemes, more that are basically like a lava rock. You can certainly get that as well. But I liked the Inferno Green because it had like a lava kind of look, but with a whole different, green instead of kind of reddish lava. So non-typical. And I just thought this was so befitting of an alien world. Maybe there's magic within the world that's kind of seeping out. Or maybe this was once a thriving, grassy covered mountain, and it's starting to wither away. Or maybe it's just some kind of alien magic. Maybe the Force or some kind of deep, dark magic, night sister magic is deep within these rocks. Something to that effect. I just thought was really, really cool. Comparing these to like a Mandalorian, you can see it's a pretty big piece. You can definitely hide a lot of people behind a piece like this. But this is one of the smaller pieces. Now we have other Craggy Outcroppings. We're going to look at Craggy Outcropping B here. This is a little bit larger. We've got some more places to kind of see through on the sides. You've got some stepping areas where miniatures can go up on these, as well as some parts that are maybe a little more impassable, but lots of detail on all of these. And and I really dig it. They're very cool, very, very pretty. Very, very gorgeous. I actually really like the way that these look. And we have another Craggy Outcropping here. This is, I believe, Craggy Outcropping A. And of course, looking at all of these are great pieces. These are just nice little pieces to kind of fill in gaps on larger empty spaces, or move them all together to kind of create like a big area with some flat ground in between. So they can complement an existing set, or they can all work together depending on how you want to incorporate these with other terrain. If you're running like a lot of trees and kind of dense forestry, this makes like a good kind of standout piece to kind of break up a tree line. Or you can do more of a barren wasteland and have a whole lot more of these together. Let's move on and look at some bigger pieces. All right, so we just looked at the Craggy Outcroppings. Let's look at the Craggy Hills. Now, this is really something. The Craggy Hills have larger, like I guess these are considered medium or larger pieces. The Craggy Hills is just really, really something. This is a massive piece, and just it gives you such a big battlefield area, and it has a lot of flatter space here for miniatures to be able to get up on, and of course fight inside here as well. You can trace line of sight, from a lot of these places to other places, and but you still have some line of sight blocking areas on the outer edges, as well as some areas of like impassable terrain as well as passable terrain. So you've even got some natural steps up on the center part in here. So again, a lot of really cool ways to be able to use this. And again, all of these cracks and crevices here really kind of take the paint really well, and it looks alive. And I absolutely love the Inferno Green. Now, if you're thinking of getting something like this, you don't have to get it in this color scheme. You don't have to get it painted at all. You can even get STLs, but they do such a good job, and they really did a great job painting these up. I really like it. It looks like there's a living power pulsating beneath the ground here, which is really cool. I've got another piece over here. Let me pull over, because this is so that was the Craggy Hills A. This is going to be the Craggy Hills B. This one's a little smaller, but I think might be my favorite piece out of the whole set. It's got these beautifully grooved kind of spires, kind of jettisoning out of the ground, sort of as if like maybe they were kind of like a dragon claw from millennia ago. It died in here, and like the rocks solidified, calcified. I'm making up new words now around it, right? I'm trying to apply like narrative to the terrain here, and so like it's just very cool. I just love the way that these spires kind of look. And here's like a side view of it. Very, very pretty. And of course you have like this natural ramping up in here too. So a lot of room and like smoother areas for miniatures and models to go on. You could have speeder bikes and ATRT walkers that get up on here. And they can then have the high ground for shooting down. Of course, you have some natural step areas as well. We can have Mandos kind of move up onto parts of these. Well, maybe not that one as much over here. You can fit models on here. You can fit models on here. You can fit them on here. You don't have to worry about the terrain overhang. If you got plenty of room for a full base on a lot of these areas. So lots of room to have armies kind of trying to take the hill, take the high ground, and also have some line of sight blocking from other angles. Just really, really cool, and again works really well with all of these other pieces to sort of create this wasteland area, or maybe this rebirth area, however you want to kind of build your story for your tabletop. Now, in a slightly different set, we've got the Scenic Elements set. We have this Chaos Portal. It's like a mystic pool, and this is kind of cool. And it's still painted with that same color scheme, which is really cool. I just thought that this would be nice to have like maybe some impassable terrain. Like, hey, nobody goes over that. I don't care what kind of climbing gear you've got. This is impassable terrain. So unless you can jump over it like you're a Jedi or have a jetpack, or you're a flying vehicle that can fly over top, nobody can cross the pool. You can go around it, but you can't go through because it might swallow you up. And it's perfectly flat here on the sides, so it could be like maybe passable over here. And maybe this could provide heavy cover. Maybe it's tall enough, or maybe it's not tall enough, depending on the game that you're playing, right? And this is it's a nice kind of medium level height where that might be tall enough to provide light cover, but it might not, or heavy cover rather, depending on how you want it to be. That's one of the beautiful things about like a lot of games that I play, like Star Wars Legion. You and your opponent kind of decide. You talk about the terrain before the game gets started, and this one is one that could take a lot of different forms. Maybe it's winter and maybe this pool is frozen, and you're going to decide, hey, it's passable, but it's going to be difficult terrain, right? Because it's like it's frozen solid, and you're trying not to slip over it, so you got to go slow. So many cool things you can do with different pieces, especially when you talk about it with your opponent. We also have another set to look at, the Steeped Hills. This is maybe a different approach if you maybe want to go a little more vehicle intensive, or wants stuff to be able to have like those tanks or those hover tanks to be able to get up on, or just larger armies where you can stand like a group of like 7 or 8 miniatures together side by side. This is going to be more flatter topped, but still multi-tiered, right? So this was still going to probably be like barricade height. From here, you got about an inch of height between these. And of course, I'm going to showcase some of these with miniatures, and you'll be able to see models on them just for quick purposes. Here we've got a Mando on this piece, and you can kind of see that it's going to go up to about half of the miniature. This is certainly like about the same height as barricades would be, so it gives you a lot of like high ground versus low ground, but a lot of easy room to very, very easily place these, as well as speeders that are passing, and you need to set larger bases on flatter terrain. This could possibly be your ideal piece right here. Very, very cool. And so this is, and these are like medium sized. They're like I talked about them being 3D printed. I want to show you, like, this is really cool because they actually secure multiple prints together to kind of create this one seamless piece. And this is the Steeped Hills B, also in that Inferno green style. Just really gets, it brings all of them together. So even though this is a different a different design style than the Craggy Hills, they still all really flow together really well, and they're going to look beautiful on the same table. If you want them on the same table, you can also get multiple styles and and mix and match however you want. I have another one here that is going to be the Steeped Hills E, which is just a different model. Again, there's multiple models, and so if you wanted lots of these all together, they don't all have to be the same. And so this one has a real nice from highest point to lowest point here in the center. But a lot of these natural, these natural formations, and they're a little bit more rougher to the touch. Where the world has kind of chipped away at the landscape here. And you feel this ground feels very ancient, and powerful, which I think fits into the color scheme too, of like that deep magic rooted within the ground. I'm really a big fan of how these all look and how they came out. And there's other little subtle bits of green in here, like a mossy texture. Maybe it's even slippery. You could decide that, hey, this is after a rainfall. This is all slippery terrain, so you can walk on it, but it's going to be a difficult move. You have to reduce your speed because you could slip and fall because it's a slippery rock, right? Like you can totally, if you want to have rules for that, like that would be really, really cool. I'm going to show you guys some of this all pieced together in a couple of different, a few different aspects or design situations with some models on there as well, so you can kind of get a feel for how this would look in a shootout scenario. Yeah, so here we're just kind of showcasing lots of different Shadow Collective miniatures. We've got some Black Sun troopers over here, a couple of different paint schemes of Mandos, kind of showing the different levels of elevation and how easy it is to kind of get them all on the flatter terrain, even with larger units. You can fit some pretty big vehicles on here too, especially if they're hover vehicles and have no problem getting up to this elevation, which I thought is pretty cool. But you've got so much room with these, which are really nice. So I'm going to show you guys some more of these as well. And here I am using some of it with some of my Warhammer Age of Sigmar, my Stormcast Eternals here, and of course much larger bases than Legion. They still fit on here, no problem, just to give you an idea of like the base size difference. No problem fitting even some of the larger models on these at all. So very, very cool stuff. And that's another thing I like about this type of terrain, like rocks and rocky formations. Like you can fit any type of theme in with this at all, whether you're doing science fiction, it could be a moon or an alien planet. If you're doing medieval, it could be a world that is being restored and having magic restored to it. So like it fits into any type of setting for modern wargaming, which I just thought is really, really cool. All right, guys, so that is a quick look at some of the amazing pieces from Terrainify. If you want to check them out, again, links in the description below. Go show them some love, at least take a look and see what else they have to offer. And while you're there, if you want to save 25% off of your first order, use code Crabbok25, Crabbok25. It's going to save you 25%. And you can use that to as their little way of thanking the channel and thanking you guys for checking them out. Another cool thing is using some of these smaller pieces on the flatter pieces, like it gives you like a whole lot more customizability, right? So you can totally like even change it up from there. That's just such a cool little extra touch. All right, big thanks to Terrainify for sending this out. Hopefully we can get a nice little battle report in soon. You guys can see some of this terrain in the middle of a battle, and we'll do more and more, and it's just so much fun to do. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Also, big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. So say we all. Party on, dudes. And you can't take the sky from me. The spice must flow. And, oh gosh, I'm running. And Thundercats, ho!